What's up, guys? Today's video is going to be a full day of eating slash just, I guess, a day in the life of me, a young guy who's on the carnivore diet in attempts to build his dream physique and just be healthier overall. This video was suggested to me by Isaac. He wanted to see sort of what I eat in a day and how I make the kinds of food, so I'm responding to that request, I guess, and making this video. Alright, this probably looks pretty stupid, but here I am in the kitchen, ready to make breakfast. Breakfast is not anything spectacular, as you'll probably come to see with most of my meals. Again, nothing crazy. I don't really put that much effort into cooking. It's just going to be 5 eggs, cooked in a tablespoon of butter with 2 slices of Swiss cheese. So that's it. And here, you can watch me make it. So I'm going to be decently, I guess, what would you say, liberal with the amount of salt I put into my eggs, because salt, contrary to like mainstream programming and stuff, salt is not bad for you. Salt is actually very good for you and also very important for you. So never sort of, I guess, be stingy on your salt. Salt liberally. It's going to be better for you. It's going to be better for your overall health and gains. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, and we cook in butter for a reason, okay? If you're on the carnivore diet, right, and you've done research on the carnivore diet and keto in general and just really health, you'll know that seed oils are terrible for you. They're basically, like, they were originally engine lubricant and stuff like that, and somehow they convinced us to start eating it. But you don't want to be eating that kind of stuff, okay? That's what's called, like, unsaturated fats. You want to be eating natural animal fats like butter, like ghee, for example, as you'll see later in the day, or tallow, stuff like that. So that's why I'm going to be cooking these eggs in butter today, and this is just a regular tablespoon of salted butter. Nothing crazy, just throw it into the pan, let it melt, and then I'll throw in the eggs. Alright, the pan looks ready. We're just going to give it a quick test with a little bit of the egg from my fork. I don't know, this is my way of doing things. I'm sure there are many ways to cook an egg, and no way is necessarily wrong. This is just how I do it. So it looks like it's warm enough. You know, you never want to throw in the eggs too early because then they cook kind of weirdly, but this is definitely warm enough. So I'm just going to drop in the rest of the eggs from the bowl here, all 5 of them. And I make sure to always put my finger in there and get as much of the egg out as I can. You know, you're paying for the full egg, you might as well, you know, get the full egg in your body. So, you know, it's only more nutrients and gains for you. Alright, so now that the egg is decently cooked, I will throw in the cheese and then just fold it over. So, again, I don't think this was anything spectacular for sure. I'm not a crazy chef, although you will see some more of my skills when I make the steak later today. But yeah, breakfast is just, it's very simple. Just whip up some eggs, cook them, throw some cheese in, and then do the final touch, which is this flip. Actually, I didn't do it very great there, but it's okay. So that is pretty much breakfast. I'm going to eat this with a fork, and yeah, that's breakfast. Again, this camera angle may be a little bit weird, but whatever, at this point I'm making it my own. It's now the afternoon time, and I'm going to show you what I normally eat for lunch. Today's not a work day, so I still have this, like, I guess I cooked it for the week, but today's not a work day, so I'm not eating it right now. But what I normally eat on days I go to work is just it's quite literally just if I can get this open. There's 2 in here right now, but like, I just cook like a chicken thigh, and cooking it is as simply as, you know, as simple as preheating the pan, throwing the chicken thighs in there. I cook it in ghee, and I throw some salt and some Cajun seasoning on top of it. That's pretty much it. So I'll take one of these chicken thighs, and then I'll take these things. You probably know about them. I'm sure they have them somewhere else as well, but they're called like cheese strings or like cheese sticks. So it's just like a little brick of mozzarella cheese, I think this one is. So just have 2 of these, and yeah, that's my lunch. And I guess that since I mentioned that I don't eat that when it's not a work day, the question will probably arise, okay, well then, on non-work days, do you just don't eat that? So it's just like, you know, a chicken thigh and 2 mozzarella cheese sticks less is what your diet is. And sometimes, yeah, but sometimes I'll throw in some other stuff like I have like this cream cheese here, so I'll just eat like a little bit of cream cheese, like literally from the spoon. It's actually surprisingly good. Or like sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes I'll have like a can of sardines, which I'm not going to show here, but it's just can of sardines and water or something like that. So on days that I don't go to work, yeah, I won't have that lunch, but sometimes I'll throw in things like this or things like the sardines. So that kind of helps to understand. All right, well, it's just about time for the best part of the day. I'm about to head into the gym for my workout, and I've brought my tripod with me, so I'll take a little bit of B-roll while I'm working out, and I'll share the gains with you guys. Workout is done. I'm pretty out of breath. It was a pretty good, intense workout. Added some plus ones, added reps onto I think every exercise that I did. So, I mean, what more can you ask for, right? Those little plus ones every week, workout after workout, they add up, and that's what gets you jacked. So, yeah, good workout overall. And now it's time to go home, shower up, and then get cooking my steak and eggs. All right, I'm back in the kitchen again at this weird camera angle, and I'm here for dinner. So dinner is pretty simple. It's gonna be a ribeye steak. This is a 1.17 pound ribeye I just saw in the packaging, and 4 eggs, and everything is gonna be cooked in ghee. Ghee is, well, it says on here, clarified butter. It's probably backwards on that, but clarified butter is basically butter that they kind of like cook again, and then what happens there is like the lactose content and whatever kind of like splits away. I'm sure you can get a better explanation, but the ultimate point of cooking the steak in ghee, but in the morning cooking the eggs in butter, was that butter has a very low smoke point. So basically butter starts to burn up at a pretty low temperature. So if I was to try and cook steak in butter, it wouldn't really turn out well. It's gonna be like very like burnt and charred and whatever. And it's gonna have like a kind of like shitty taste to it. Whereas if you cook in this can go up to like, I think it's like 500 degrees Fahrenheit or something like that before it starts burning up. So you know, cooking steak, searing steak is a high temperature operation, so something like this or like tallow or something will be what you want. Anyways, other than that, I'm gonna start putting some salt and other seasonings. Well, I mean, there's just one seasoning. I just do salt and Cajun seasoning. I'm gonna put it on the steak, and then yeah, we'll throw it onto the pan. So I'm just gonna start doing that real quick. Again, so I salted pretty liberally, and now I'm just going to add a little bit of a Cajun seasoning onto this. I only add it on one side because then I don't really know why exactly I do it. I guess it just starts to burn up if you put it on both sides. Oh shit, that was actually accidentally a lot. I realized I got this different pack which doesn't have the best sort of dispensing holes, I guess is what you'd call it. Like a lot ends up falling out at once, so, and especially in one spot, that's the annoying part, but trying my best here. To spread it out a little bit. I season a little bit for taste, but I don't try to season like too much. Like I'm not gonna go overboard. Like some people you'll see on YouTube, they'll be like making a steak or something, and they'll just have it like completely covered. Like you won't even be able to like see the red of the meat. I don't do anything like that. You know, this is pretty much as far as I take it. Now moving to the pan itself, I know the pan is like super black. This is a stainless steel pan. It's supposed to be, well, stainless steel, and I need to get this thing called like Barkeeper's Friend, which basically like cleans the pan properly, because you can't get this like, this is just basically like some, I don't know, like burnt on residue or something like that. I can't get it off with just soap. I've tried, and I need to get that, and I keep forgetting. So if before anybody says that in the comments, I know I need to fix this. But anyways, letting the pan preheat. I have some water in my hand, that's why I've been standing weirdly. Right now it's not hot enough yet because I threw that water on and it just kind of like sizzled away. I'll show it eventually. It's not going to show as well because my pan is kind of messed up, but the water should not fizzle out like that. It should like kind of like glide on the surface and like dance around and whatever. And that's when we know that the pan is hot enough to start cooking with, and that's when I'm gonna throw in the ghee, and that's when I'm gonna throw in the steak. So it's probably gonna need a few minutes. I think we're just about almost ready here, and I guess while I'm waiting for it to get ready, I should mention that after I came back from the gym and after I showered and whatever, I wasn't yet ready to make the steak. I was just doing some other stuff, but I was a little bit hungry, so I did have a little bit of the cream cheese, like I mentioned I'll sometimes have earlier too. So I guess I just ended up eating like probably like 50 to 75 grams of cream cheese. Again, just with a spoon. It's actually pretty good. Yeah, so I had that. So I just wanted to disclose that, I guess, that I had that before, between breakfast and now me making the steak here. But yeah, let's see if this pan is warm enough. I think it's going to be pretty close. So yeah, let me do a quick test. You see how it's kind of like, yeah, there, that's perfect actually. You see how it's like dancing around kind of, and not, it didn't just fizzle away straight away, and like it's chilling there. That's how you know it's hot enough. So yeah, so now I'm just gonna get that water out of there, and then open up my ghee, take a pretty decent amount of it. Again, on like carnivore, like this kind of diet, there's no reason to like fear fat or anything, but one thing to be mindful of too is that like the ribeye itself has, oh, I messed that up. The ribeye itself has a pretty decent amount of fat on it, so you don't need to put too much in the pan, but still I like to put enough to cover the surface. And then what I'll usually end up doing is I'll cook the eggs in the same grease as the steak, like not at the same time, as you'll see soon. I do it at like different times and like in different pans, but I'll use whatever grease is left over in here for the eggs, because it's just, I guess I could use some new ghee or butter or something like that for the eggs, but it's just like, I feel like at that point it becomes a bit too like buttery and greasy. So and I like to just reuse and get the most out of it. But anyways, it's time to put the steak in, and we're just gonna lay it flat as best as possible, pat down on it a little bit so it covers the whole area, or like basically covers the whole area is a bad way to say it. Basically, to make sure the steak is actually fully on the surface at all points, because sometimes you can have some points that are like standing up a little bit and it just doesn't cook as well. But I threw that in at around about 6:28 on my watch. So something I guess you'll learn if you make a lot more steak is you'll learn your stove and your pan and your whatever and your cut of meat as well. I like to make the steak like a, I guess like a medium. So that's like with a, you know, it's still gonna be definitely like pink inside. It's not gonna end up being brown, but it's not like super like rare, like it's still like mooing or whatever, like some people like it. So I found that like 4.5 minutes ish each side, 4 to 5 minutes each side, really somewhere in between there, gives me a pretty good result for that. So that's what I'm gonna wait for right now. So about a minute has elapsed. I'll give it like another 3 to 3.5, and then I'm gonna flip it, and obviously I'll show you that. So I just had the fire alarm go off for some reason. I mean, I say for some reason, obviously I'm cooking the steak and I didn't want to have the fan on like full blast so I could record, but I'm pretty sure I've done that before and it's never gone off, and it started going off and I was like, well shit, I guess I gotta leave, but then it stopped. So I don't know. I'm okay for now. Let's see if somebody comes to my room and says something. I'm in a hotel, so that's why it's a little bit weird, but the steak's still cooking. Oh, it's actually almost time to flip it, so I'll go back to that. But I have the fan on now, so it's going to be pretty loud. So, as you can see, the steak has left the surface, and it's pretty easy to glide around, so just going to give it a quick flip. You can see it's gotten a pretty good sear on it. Alright, so I'm just about at 4 minutes on this side, and I did do a little quick peek about like 45 seconds ago, and it looked pretty good. So I'm just gonna pull this off now. It's done. So pull that off, and then I'm gonna use a different pan. But like I said, I'm gonna reuse some of the grease. So I'm just gonna pour that into the new pan, which I'm gonna make the eggs in, and whatever's left over, I'm gonna throw more on the steak as well. You know, again, like I did in the morning with the eggs, you know, not waste food. You pay for it all, so use as much of it as you practically can. Obviously, I'm not gonna stand here for 10 years letting it drip, but as long as I get a decent amount of it out, I'm happy with that. I think I can turn the fan down a little bit now. So this pan was cold, but the grease in there is obviously still pretty hot, so I'm just gonna start breaking the eggs straight in. So in the morning I make like an omelet style, right? But when you do steak and eggs, it's a lot nicer in my opinion to do like a fried egg. Something like a, you know, you leave it kind of like a medium, or you leave it like very runny if you want. And that's kind of nice to like dip the steak in. It's like a natural sauce. So that's what I end up doing. Let's see how well I can do it today. Some days I mess it up and the yolk ends up getting like cooked fully, but I feel like most of the time I'm pretty good at it. So let's see if I can do it under pressure though. So I've got my eggs cracked in. I'm gonna salt them as well. On my eggs I just salt on one side, even though I guess it would probably be better if I was to do it on both sides, but it is what it is. I kind of end up mixing it all up anyways in the plate, so as you'll soon see, it's pretty hard to... These plates are not big enough for how much I eat. So that... Definitely not my best performance, but not my worst performance either. I guess since I'm just about ready to take them out of the pan, I'm gonna reposition this camera a little bit. I think it's probably cooked decently enough, and it's gonna keep cooking off the stove a little bit too with the internal heat. So now it's time to transfer them onto my plate. It's a bit hard to do it. Like I said, these plates are low-key not big enough for how much I eat, so it's hard to kind of fit it beside the steak, but still, I guess not have it fall off the plate, you know, because that would be pretty bad. But I think I did a decent enough job, and make sure it's not like grease dripping everywhere. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Here's dinner. One and a little bit over a pound of ribeye, and then 4 eggs. And oh, I realized I'm not exactly putting it in the middle of the screen, but yeah, I'm just gonna, I guess I could do a little cut open and show you guys the cross section, since the steak has rested while I was cooking the eggs. So let me, again, it's a little bit hard with this like not very big plate, but let me, oh, eggs don't fall off. I think I got it a decent enough thing to show. I'm not going to try and lift the steak up. Oh, you can get a pretty good angle there anyways. But yeah, there's the, I guess you'd say that's pretty nice, pretty decent medium. So again, not like overcooked and like a brick, but also not still mooing like some people definitely like it. So with that, I guess it's time for me to go eat. I'm pretty hungry, so I'm obviously not going to film myself eating, but I'm excited to start eating this, and then I guess I'll reconvene with you guys after the meal and give it a review. So I just finished eating the steak, and I am now really full, and I gotta say, I think I outdid myself. Maybe I should record myself cooking the steak every time, because for some reason today it was just like extra good. It's normally good anyways, but yeah, something about it today just hit different. But yeah, I'm now super full, and the plan for the rest of the day really is to edit this video so I can get it out as soon as possible. And show Isaac, and yeah, I guess that's really it. If you are interested in the carnivore diet and building your dream physique and just being healthy overall, I would really suggest visiting the link in my description and joining my Skool community. It's completely free, and there's a free course on there as well, which talks about some of these things, and I'll also be there to personally answer any questions you have. So really, again, it's free, so it's a win-win really. There's no obligation. There's only value in it for both yourself and me, so I would really suggest doing that. And yeah, other than that, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Bye.